everything in your past now kind of it cleared? Is it cleared up and to the point where you now see new directions? What are the new directions? I mean, I can see a whole symphonic album. I can see you producing movies. I mean, what's on your mind?
Well, okay. Right now, we just finished this film, right? Mm-hmm. Also, Japan is back together, so we're gonna be playing some shows. Actually, playing at Wembley Arena in London. It's coming March.
Yeah, there's an album that has taken nearly 20 years to complete.
Yeah, because there are 10 years blank with brainwash and all those things.
And then, and then at the last minute, you decided to give us a new song for the end credits, which came out so great that you wanted to stick that on the new album. It's the first song you hear when the credits start. It's fucking great. So there's been like delays, but it's almost ready, right?
I would say 99% done. And then I just kind of mentioned today, I'm also playing Carnegie Hall. Here in New York, of course. It's coming January 12th and 13th, 2 nights, with Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yeah, well, there you
It's a
go.
little video. You want to run that? Well, let's take a few more questions, and we'll run the promo. Is that all right?
Sure.
I mean, I know there's some questions here. It's right.
Yoshiki, Ken with piercingmetal.com. The wonderful concert we saw. Oh!
It's okay.
All right, let's run
as
it.
well.
All right. We'll finish this here.
Okay.
Now?
Go ahead.
So the wonderful concert we got as part of the We Are X movie from Madison Square Garden that a lot of us got to see. Will we get the whole concert?
Oh, God.
Seinfeld episode.
What's great about the classical show is you incorporate a lot of ex-Japan songs, which reveals, like this is a band started by a child who was a classical prodigy. A lot of the speed metal actually has like a classical philosophy in its composition. So you just tell me a little bit of how, like the compositional technique, I think is fascinating. We actually don't touch on it enough in the film.
To be honest, I even play punk rock and EDM as well, but I think every musician should know the music theory. I mean, playing just with the vibe is cool too, but it's kind of like alphabet when you speak English, right? So if you know that theory, you can use for jazz, punk rock, or anything. So classical music can be a kind of like a basic thing. They can take it to the next level, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, or Rachmaninoff or something like that. This upcoming concert, I may play some classical tune as well. Yeah.
But we did a studio visit just last week, and you said something to everybody that was really cool about like how you write. You know what I mean? Like that you're not, if you just write something on a piano, you're sort of confined. But if you literally compose everything on score first, either it's classical or just this stuff. You write it out literally before anything happens, right?
Yes, I write every single note to the score. Even like Japan songs, like a drum, guitar. I used to give it to the members. The members like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, I need to play that. They play the guitar solo or whatever, then give it to Hide or... Yes, I write every single thing in the score. That case, because when I'm playing piano and composing, you are kind of limited to how you can play. But if you are using just a brain and kind of heart to, ring your sound, you can, write anything, any melody. Then you're gonna figure out how to play that melody.
How to voice it with the different band members.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
So sometimes it doesn't make any sense. I will write, need like 2 bands together or something like that. But so yeah, I write everything in the score. So when I compose, 99% of the time, I don't use music instrument at all.
Yeah. So Carnegie Hall. So question, back to you, sir. You were beginning to ask a question.
I'm afraid to start saying it again.
Go for it.
Okay, take 3. Right? So the great concert we got on the video in parts that a lot of us got to see in person. Are we going to see that whole thing as a release and a live album? Because it was just so amazing to have witness. I think is Extra Band going to put that out as a separate release?
First of all, you made it through without getting dark. That's good. I think so. I think we're gonna release Madison Square Garden's live video. Yeah, but right now, just concentrating this.
First things first. This needs to get out in the world. But yeah,
Okay.
the concert was incredible. You know, I'm glad we were able to stick a little mini concert in the end credits, and people stay and seem to enjoy it. But yeah, the show was great. Right, you were there.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Amazing.
I thought that's very good because I kind of gave everything to Steven, so I try not to say anything. I'm usually like a control freak when it comes to, recording or something like this. But this film, I just, gave everything to Steven. So then I saw this, edit was almost like 95% like this.
Yeah, we got it into Sundance before you saw it.
That's right.
It was a tricky little, schedule, but you were fully on board
Yes.
with the cut.
That was like, I was thinking, how do I use the Madison Square Garden show? I was watching the film. Where's the Madison Square Garden show? We only see rehearsal. The end roll. I thought that was really cool. At the beginning, I was really confused. But still a cool way to.
My favorite parts of the whole movie is the credits. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I have a question for both of you, kind of. Stephen, like, to have a band and have an artist like this who's been playing so long, how did you get this movie down to a good length? And then for Yoshiki, also, I was wondering if there's anything in the movie that you wish wasn't in the movie.
Well, I'll answer my question first. You can think about that. This is movie number 7 for me. It's a process. It's always just, you have a relationship with an editorial team. You kind of know the bare bones of what the story is, but then in the shooting, there was almost no pre-production. We really were thrown in to observing them, rehearsing, and building this whole thing up. We just started, and which was kind of great because we we weren't penned in by any preconceived notions. You know the kind of beats of the story in advance, but by just kind of getting thrown in and just observing these rehearsals and looking at this whole world, it starts to suggest other things to you, in other ways, and other things the film could be. So you have all those kind of banked up in your head too, and it really is it's just a process of, a filmmaker I once worked with in my very first movie, Cinemania. My co-director, Angela, who also cut it, said, God, it's like pouring the ocean into a teacup when we were confronted with all the footage. And you get used to it, you know what I mean? We miraculously landed at a kind of a solid 2-hour rough cut, so there wasn't much to take down. We sort of miraculously kind of found the shape pretty early on, and then just refined it. So, and is there anything you wish maybe wasn't in it, or anything that you think should be in it that isn't?
I want to create part 2. We'll see.
Extra Band miniseries. Yes.
I guess as a film lover and a music lover of just everyday audience, I just want to commend you both on your making of this film, because I think it's so important to hear about and to learn about. It's also an experience, It's an experience. It's really an experience. So thank you. I think it's a great thing you guys created together.
Thank you very much. When I first saw the image of the band, and you see it on the screen at one point, in the early days, you put a bunch of stickers out, the slogan of the band, and I love this, psychedelic violence crime of visual shock. I was like, whatever, that's it. That's the thesis of the movie. I gave my graphic designer props, and actually, the prize we won at Sundance was for excellence in title design, by the way.
That's South by.
South by, yeah. What did I say? Sundance, South by. I worked with the same designer on 4 or 5 movies, and that was like the brief I gave her. I just said, psychedelic violence crime, whatever that means to you, do that. Because I felt like this band, just on the visual aspect alone, was this bottomless pit of inspiration and could really become something really cinematic, but also super emotional, too.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because my agent, WME, William Morrison in Los Angeles, head of music, Mark Geiger, he and I have been friends for a long time. He kind of started saying like several years ago, almost over 5-6 years ago, you need to create documentary. It's like, whoa, that's too heavy. It's like I don't want to open that door because, I mean, Japan's already kind of reunited, but I don't want to, go back to that every single moment because it's too painful. So I kind of said no. If you, a year later, you need to tell this story. This is very important. You should do it. Like, I can't. I just cannot. There's a footage from last live, which was, we disbanded before, then 10 years later we got reunited. Even watching that last live, like first 5 minutes I cried, started crying. It's like, how could we even create a documentary film? Then eventually, Mark and everybody convinced me. Then I said, I cannot even touch this footage. So if there's a great producer, a great director, so then my agent found John Bartzek, found you, or you guys work together. So I'm very happy that you said it was really important to talk about this story, because I was not 100% sure till this one's done was right move or not, because it's very, very painful to watch this still. Yeah.
But I mean, I encountered a fan base that, I mean, it could sound cheesy if you just tell people like, oh yeah, X Japan heals people, the fan base is so devotional, but they really are. I mean, you see them at the end. I mean, we had, there's an outtake of a woman who was a fan from, I think she was from Puerto Rico, and her boyfriend came to the MSG and claimed that your music put her cancer in remission twice.
Wow.
Terrible footage. It was not recorded well, we couldn't use it. But I mean, it's like that kind of thing over and over and over and over again. You feel it. It really, so it's like I didn't know who they were, but something just kept telling me this, it needs to get out there. People have seen it, it's a story of a rock band, yeah, but it has like this weird transformative quality, like people really have gravitated towards some of the themes and just messages in it. And it's just been a lot of fun to work with subtext in a documentary for a change, and there's a lot of great kind of like visual storytelling that works against and with the main story, and it's just been a trip. Anybody else?
We have time for one more quick question.
One more quick question right there. We'll be, and then we can grab us later in the reception. Is it?
It's too much pressure on me. This is a question for Mr. Yoshiki. When you lost Hide and the Toshi left the band, how do you maintain true to your soul? How do you actually stay positive on that, on that dark times in a way?
It's a great question. I don't know. I was positive. I kept, I tried to keep, being positive, but it's like, everybody, like, who's confident, who is not confident. I'm always trying to be just 50.001% positive than 49.00, whatever, 999% negative, insecure. So as long as you cross that bridge, just, like the fine line, you're positive. So but around that time, I was on that really small, like fine line. I was on the edge. I could fall either way. If I fell negative way, I didn't know if I even existed. I had that kind of like a strange, since when I was my father 10 years old, I was like always thinking, what is life? Why people, what's the reason we exist here? So I was always that kind of state of mind. Then when I lost Hide, when Toshi got brainwashed, it's like, what should we do? What should I do? Then I want to be, I was like that, I'm going to be always like this, but I'm trying to be the side of positive side. It can't be only 1%, but that's, I'm trying to. This film kind of made me put in a positive side.
Yes, we did it. Hey, thanks so much for coming. Stick around. You're going to want to stick around. There's drinks and nibbles and a little surprise coming a little bit later, not too long, right? So stay with us.
As long as I don't drink that much, I'm not.
Don't drink that much. We're happy to chat further with any of you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.